Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the Buy My Merch podcast, Kirsten Izer.
Hello.
We are here at the, I think, $100,000 Neve console of the beautiful NRG recording studios in North Hollywood. What was your reaction walking in here, by the way?
Oh my God, breathtaking. I've been in a lot of studios, but this is definitely one of the coolest ones for sure.
Yeah, they are. I mean, there are a lot of studios left that have a lot of this vintage equipment, but they have tape. There's tape, Neves. There's like multiple Neves here. It's been so much fun recording here all day, and I'm just excited to be chatting with you now. I have a whole bunch of fun questions for you and a big surprise at the end, which you'll be hearing all about. But she's already like, yay! Love surprises. But I first just want to start by going back a little bit because you've had such a cool career in music and the music industry. And I want to talk to you a little bit about starting out as a publicist and figuring out in that journey of talking to and helping other artists market their music. At what point did you realize that you also wanted to be an artist?
Yeah, well, if you're looking at my career, it looks like I started out as a publicist, but I actually started out as an artist. It's just something that I've always been my whole life. Like before I could choose a profession, I learned guitar when I was 10 years old. And yeah, then when the time came to get a real job, it was kind of like, well, I've been making music my whole life and I know that's my passion. So how can I do that to make money and pay rent? So then I kind of just closed my eyes and threw a dart at a random target and it landed on PR.
We've all been there. I'm pretty sure that's how I ended up in a marketing career, to be quite honest with you.
That's how it started. But then once I got into my first job as a publicist, it was for indie artists. And I was like, oh, this is actually what I like doing.
Did you ever take that skill like that you were learning as a PR consultant for other artists and send emails as yourself? Like, were you using the fake manager intro type vibe early on?
Yes.
Did you have like a fake manager?
Absolutely. I did. I have a real one now, and before, yes, I did. I don't know if I should say the name, but I did. It was inspired by an all-girl punk band.
The manager?
The manager's name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And she would respond to messages and sort of like be your almost like in-between assistant.
Yeah.
For music opportunities.
I basically did exactly what I was doing for the indie artists at this PR agency, but for myself. And I just made a new email and I was like sitting at the computer and I was like, what's the name of my publicist going to be? And I thought of an all-girl punk band, starts with the letter S. And then I kind of just like tweaked it to make it sound like a more human person name. And I was like, that's my publicist. And then I just started sending emails just with that name because I figured, yeah, as if people were getting emails from the artists, they probably wouldn't take them as seriously, which is unfortunate and I don't agree with. But I wanted to have the optical illusion that I had some sort of team and people believing in me, even though at that point I was doing everything on my own.
Do you think that's still such a great point to bring up? Like, do you think that still lingers in the industry that you're only going to get that callback if it's coming from what appears to be a legit source?
It's so tough. Like TLDR, yes. But, you know, it's kind of one of those chicken or the egg things where you need to build a following and credibility, but no one's really willing to give that to you until you have a following and credibility.
Here's the thing, though. It was kind of a fun challenge to like try to be from the artist or talent perspective and pitch myself. There's still an argument to be made that that's not as valid, but like I feel like I did learn a lot that way too. But I also had friends who were killing it with the fake managers, and like we all crawl our way in, don't we?
Yeah.
To that door.
But there was a huge caveat to that situation, which I knew going into it, which is there's a ceiling here because I will never be able to take these journalists out to lunch. I will never be able to foster a real relationship with them because I cannot meet them in person and say, hi, my name is Joe Schmo. And I'm living this whole other life. Like I can't do identity theft or anything like that. No. This industry is so relationship driven. So I think if you are just looking for a short-term solution and you just need to get emails out there and you think that's the way, that's cool. But really the better thing to do is actually build true relationships with the people that you're trying to work with. And you do that through actually getting to know them as people and vice versa, and maybe inviting them to a show or anything like that. And you can't do that if you're pretending to be someone else.
It's true. It's true. But a great thing to bring up, because I think a lot of, especially young artists, are curious, like, should I? But
if you're just operating from home and that's all you intend to do, go for it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, if you're like out there in the middle of Kansas, like, who's going to know? Speaking of networking, and just, you make such a great point there of, I wouldn't be able to bring them out to a lunch or actually foster a real relationship. What is it like being in a city like LA and having and building in real time that network of like fellow musicians and others in this industry?
Well, I think there's such a conception of LA that everyone here is phony or opportunistic. And yes, while there are definitely people like that here who I've met, there's also such an incredible community of people who, I know you've talked to some of them, and they are truly just in it for the art and are enthusiastic about supporting other artists. And coming from New York too, I mean, I'm definitely taking my music career more seriously since coming here, but I do find that I just feel so supported here, and everyone is just so passionate about what they do and just down to help other people. So yeah, and how you do it, you just have to put yourself out there. I mean, there are so many people that I've met just by cold emailing or following on Instagram and then shooting them a DM in a not creepy way. And you would be surprised how open people are to that, because then they see that you're putting yourself out there, and they 9 times out of 10 respect that. It's like, oh, there's this person, they're a go-getter, they're putting themselves out there, like that's pretty brave to do, and like they took the time to research me. So yeah, I am not a gatekeeper in any way. If there's an opportunity that comes on my plate and like someone that I know, they come to mind and I think they're a good opportunity for that, I immediately put them in there. Mm-hmm. Like I am all about connecting people with other people that I've met and just growing that, because I want everyone around me to be successful. Like, why wouldn't you want that? You know, I think it's just such a strange mindset to not want that. So and it makes everyone else so happy, and it makes them feel supported, and it's all about reaching out when you don't actually need someone or something.
Oh, that's great too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not always needing to be transactional.
Yeah.
I also want to ask you, as you're putting yourself out there again for live shows, which is so cool, hope to catch one of those at some point, with all this new music and fun stuff coming out, how, now that things are moving so digital, how does it change when you're planning how to market yourself and interact with a live audience versus growing yourself and your artistry online?
That's such a good question. I don't know if everyone would agree with this, but I feel like doing social media promotion versus planning a show feels almost like 2 different jobs in a way. And I love both of them. They're just really different. But the show thing, yeah, I'm really trying to evolve that, and I'm getting really excited about it, because for the last few years, I've just been performing as a guitar duo. I'm on guitar with my other guitarist, Robert, and that's great. But I felt like it was time to bring it to the next level, start incorporating some backing tracks and stuff like that, just to make it, encapsulate my recorded music a little bit more accurately. But I was very scared of doing that because I wanted to do it the right way and use like a DAW and whatnot. Anyway, I just did that for the first time at my last show last month at the Virgil, and oh my gosh, now my wheels can't stop turning. It's opened up the floodgates, and now I can't stop. Because even if I'm playing small little clubs, or I'm not a big artist yet, or it's scary to like take it so seriously in front of small crowds or whatever, I don't care. Like I love drama. I always say like the more drama, the better when it comes to my music, not my life. But like I'm already starting to think of those kinds of like almost stadium strategies. How can I bring them into a smaller club kind of set? Like I can't do a full outfit change. I didn't do that in my Virgil show, but like I had a jacket that I took off halfway through the set, and that was a moment. And just thinking of moments like that to make it a little bit more exciting now that I don't have a guitar in my hands for most of it, and thinking of ways to make people want to not look away. So that's fun for me. I like singing and performing, but I like making it a dramatic kind of like just a bigger than what it is. Like I think the live show is your opportunity to extend the recorded versions of what you already have.
I am such an advocate for dream as big as you want, no matter how many people are in that audience. What do you really hope to do on a stage someday? And yeah, how do you bring it to this level a little bit? And I love that concept of like change, like put a hat on, like take a jacket, like bring a guitarist up for one song, like little tiny things that add dynamics to a show. There's no reason why you have to wait until you have a giant stage. You got a stage as it is.
People take you more seriously once they see you do that.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, she's not messing around.
Oh, she put a jacket on. She has changed everything. I'm just being silly. I want to hear all about your current social media philosophy. You're in the middle of rolling out some new music. How often are we posting? Where are we prioritizing posting? Tell me everything.
That's a good question. I'm looking at my manager. I'm like, Amanda, my manager's here. I'm like, what's our social media strategy? No, I'm just kidding. Because she's the one who lights a fire under my butt to make sure I keep posting. Because someone else said this to me. I'm not going to take credit for it, but they were like, I don't know anyone who's on social media consistently and is also mentally healthy.
Agreed.
Like it's a trade-off. You have to choose.
Mm-hmm.
But no, all that being said, I think some people think that posting every day is a strategy. I disagree with that. I feel like it's kind of hard to pin down a specific strategy though, just because it's changing so frequently. The algorithm, I mean, and how it prioritizes content. I'm feeling like as of late, like just most recently, it's really wants you to pay for content, if I'm being just totally transparent here, because this is the hot take section.
It
right?
sure is. Pay for content. Give me a little more about what that means.
Like pay to boost your posts and for advertising. Like I think it prioritizes that content and it's getting to the point where it's really pushing it on you. Like it also wants you to pay to be verified. And then if you're verified, that helps you get more engagement. And it's a little bit frustrating with that sometimes. However, all that being said, I have my criticisms of social media, but I also think it's a fantastic way to build your audience when you don't have the means to live in a major city, because that's very expensive, or play shows or whatever. I've done a lot of networking through social media, which I'm so grateful for. I post personally, what I've been doing lately, I post like a couple times a week. I'd say maybe anywhere from 2 to 4 times a week. And I try to just be really intentional with my content. Like for me, I prioritize Instagram personally. I think whatever platform works for you, stick with that. And I look at my Instagram more like a resume than anything. I'm not necessarily prioritizing engagement and stuff, even though I definitely, value that. But for me, it's like when someone new comes to my page, what do they see right off the bat? Because I know when I look at other people's pages, I automatically start making judgments, even if I don't realize it. Like that's just where your mind goes. And it's like you can tell right away who that person is. So for me, I'm future proofing, and for me, it's about branding. And I just want people to be able to see all the things that I'm doing. I have press coverage on there. I have like whenever I put out new music, I'm trying to make very well branded content for that. So yeah, I'm trying to be much more intentional with it. I use an app that actually lets you plan out how your posts are going to look. I just started getting into that thanks to Amanda, my manager.
Nice.
Which if you talked to me a few months ago, I'd be like, hell no to that. But I actually really like it now.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you're finding your own personal balance of planning some of it, posting in real time, letting it go with the flow. That's like your healthy mix.
I definitely have been planning more lately, but also totally open to, there's oftentimes we need to move stuff around and it's not a big deal. But just because we're in such a heavy promotional phase right now, there's like so many key dates and announcements that we have those in the calendar and then we plan around it. But yeah, for stories, it's definitely more fun, hey, I'm a real human being kind of content. And I also just love a dump. I love a dump.
I want to ask you too, what is a mistake that you see other independent artists making when they're trying to market their music online?
I don't know if this answers your question, but people just not really marketing it at all. Like I see a lot of people who they're like, hey, I just put out an album this week. And I'm like, holy shit, I haven't heard from you in months. People think it's annoying and cringe to post a bunch of content and self-promotion. But no, I want that for them. I want them to go hard with it because that's the only way to actually really get your music heard. It's such a shame when I see someone put out great music and they don't promote it at all. Another thing that I see is people just like following trends just for the sake of following trends and trying to go viral. Like, did I just make the song of the summer? Stop.
How
Because it's
that
not
one
them.
summer that 100,000 people made the song of the
Yeah.
summer.
It's like that to me. Again, I'm speaking about being intentional about who you are as your own personality and brand. I feel like you don't need to be 100% locked into the certain brand idea, but like people just fall into the trap of trying to follow trends, and then I look at their content and I'm like, I actually don't know who you are. And some people, they might have that viral moment and then they maybe get a record label deal from it, but then they don't follow up with it and then they get dropped because you need more than just that. People think that once they get that moment, their whole life is made, but you got to
Put that work in.
you got to put the work in to actually build the real fans, not just a moment.
Yep, the work keeps going. If you had only $1,000 to market an album, so the album's already recorded, mastered, mixed, but you only had $1,000 to market your album, how would you spend that $1,000?
I would say play a show. In an ideal world, make some money from that through tickets and merch, and then make more than $1,000 and then
Sell those tickets.
sell those tickets, girlies or boys, and just multiply that 1,000 and invest it. And no, I'm kidding. But I feel like digital marketing is a really good, honestly, route to take. I see a lot of people spending money on PR, which I don't think when you're starting out, I wouldn't really recommend that, because in order to get major pickup, at least in like, the outlets you would think of,
Yeah.
they want to see that you have numbers or a label or something buzzworthy. So I think it would be more worth it to invest your money in growing your audience, just whether it's, I would say through digital marketing, paid ads on social media, stuff like that. And then once you grow your audience a bit more that way, then you can start aiming for the other things like PR and stuff like that.
I hear that. And this is somebody who has a background in PR.
Yeah.
At least in part. Yeah. Like this is, you're saying, hey.
Yeah. If you're an artist who's just starting out and a PR agency is telling you that they can make you a star with PR if you pay them a monthly retainer of a couple $1,000s, run in the other direction.
Sound advice. I want to take a minute to say thank you to Sennheiser for sending me the microphones and headphones you're seeing us use for this interview. Sennheiser's MD46 broadcasting mic not only makes you feel like you're Ron Burgundy at the San Diego Zoo, but also makes it super easy to transition from indoor to outdoor settings. I typically love to interview artists in quieter spaces, but the MD46 is versatile enough to bring to music festivals, interviews on the street, really wherever you need to go. This is the perfect companion mic. Not to mention they are super light, which makes them a great option for extended interviews. I'm also using Sennheiser's HD 280 Pro headphones to monitor the audio that we capture on set. I love that I can get just about every podcasting gadget that I need through Sennheiser's line of pro audio gear. You can find all your favorite Sennheiser audio gear at your local music retail store or visit Sennheiser.com to learn more. What is one thing that you regret spending your money on to help push your independent artist career?
Merch. Which is awkward given the
Not
podcast
on
that
the
we're
Buy
on.
My Merch podcast. Well, now I want to get the juicy details. Was this a certain merch launch that you did?
It's the only merch launch that I did, and I don't regret making the merch, to be clear. I just regret making too much of it. I made a lot. I mean, to be fair, the more that we made, the more of a discount we got. But yeah, it's just, you don't need to make that much merch. I have a box under my bed. It lives there now.
You know, a lot of like the name. I
expensive.
don't know if I've been asked this on the podcast, but the naming of this podcast is specific, and it really just comes down to being inspired at the indie shows I've been to, where artists are like going to their trunk and pulling the merch out and making the sales with like Zelle out of their trunk.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been to shows where they painted the merch live just to give it to people in real time. Like it's a very scrappy piece of sort of marketing yourself, and it goes back very long time in this industry. But it is that question also, that sort of other side of what exactly does it do? I don't know. Can it be measured now? Like there's parts of marketing that come and go that can be so big and then just start to kind of, that doesn't necessarily do as much anymore.
I think
So it's a good answer though. Merch is a big question mark.
I actually see a lot of, not to like say no and to you, like but I agree, but I actually, just to be clear, I do think merch is really valuable. From a branding standpoint, it really strengthens your brand. From a marketing standpoint, because then people are going to always think of you when they open their closet, and they're going to wear your stuff around town, which is great. And then also money, if you actually make money from it. That was my first time making merch. It was also my first show I ever played in LA, so I was really ambitious, and I just made way too much of it.
Oh, is 5,000 t-shirts wrong for like Hotel Cafe? I want to know if you think a TikTok ban, which currently at the time of filming this is looming but not happening yet, do you think that a TikTok ban would be a positive or negative thing for the music industry?
I don't want to be the person who's like yes and no to every question, but I do feel like it's a little bit of a gray area. Like, I don't think there's like one right or wrong answer. I think obviously the people who have big followings on TikTok and that's where they found their fans, they're going to get hit from a ban, and they'll be, hopefully they can take that over to what other platform. But, for a lot of other artists, it's just kind of, hard to keep up with how fast paced it is and all the different trends. And like I said before, it kind of takes away from, your own identity as an artist, or it can at least. So yeah, I don't know. I think the TikTok algorithm is pretty good if you compare it to other platforms. So that's a nice thing to have. Like, I think with Instagram, we're kind of stuck in this like weird algorithm hell in a way that we're not with TikTok. So I don't know. I kind of look at both platforms as solutions for very different things, if that makes sense.
It does.
So I'm pro TikTok. The ban, when it got banned and then unbanned, or got shut down like
For like 24 hours.
In January for 24 hours, that left a bad taste in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that one bit. And actually after that, I kind of stopped using it for a sec because of that. But overall, I think I'm pro TikTok because I do think the algorithm is pretty good and it's a good way for artists to promote themselves.
I want to ask you about some of this new music that you've been working on, which I know we're very excited to talk about, but you are also working with probably a whole new round of producers, other collaborators. How did you initially connect with them on this project?
So I worked primarily with this producer named Randy Belcofine. He's the sole collaborator on this project. He and I co-produced the whole EP together. I actually met him in 2022 on a party bus.
As you do.
In LA. A mutual friend put together a big party to take a party bus to San Diego, the San Diego Fair. And so that's where I met Randy and his wife, Tyler. And we actually didn't like hit it off that much when we first met. I was in a really weird mood that day because I agreed to go on this party bus because I had just moved to LA and I didn't know anyone on this bus. And except for the person throwing the party, who was obviously busy being a host. And so I knew what I was getting myself into. But because I had just moved here, I was like, I need to say yes to these things and just like throw myself into uncomfortable situations. But then I ended up reaching out to him because I was trying to make new music friends. I was like, hey, we met through this mutual friend. Like, we should hang out sometime. And so we kind of just did a test session together to see, like, I showed him some of my music and just to see if we would work out. And He really dug my music, and I really loved his production style, and I feel like our personalities actually just go so well together because we're both such trolls and we're both such unserious people. Like we're very serious and professional when we need to be and when we're around other people, but when we're in the safe space of his studio, like we are trolls. We are, if you overheard our conversation, you'd be like, are they okay? Like what drugs are they on? And we're sober. We've just had like so much coffee. So I love him. He's the best. And that's how I met him.
I love it.
I just wanted to work with one producer for this whole EP because I wanted to be really locked in and just have like a cohesive sound. So that's also...
I feel like that's a big success. I got an early listen of this EP, and I was going to say acoustic guitar feels like almost like a main character going on here. And I just wanted to ask, was there a lot of intention in leaving that sort of stripped down singer-songwriter style?
Well, I definitely wanted a stripped down acoustic style for the title track, The Perfect Hire, The Liar, because that's how that song started. And I just felt like it was such a good fit. Like it kind of started out with me strumming this Elliott Smith kind of like strumming pattern on the acoustic guitar. And I was just like, I just knew that's what I wanted. And I also feel like for that song, it's probably one of my most personal songs that I've written and put out. And so for that reason, I feel like the acoustic guitar kind of gives it more of this energy that it is intimate and personal and vulnerable, and it's coming from me. So that's why I chose that and just kept it really simple.
It's awesome. I mean, and even the visualizers, all of the aesthetic of how you've been rolling it out is fantastic. Did you have like a mood boarding process before you got in to get doing all that stuff?
Definitely. Also have to give Amanda props for that one. Every time we were gearing up to release a song, she was like, hey, can you make a mood board for this one?
Good on you, Amanda. I agree.
Good on her. I think, we're talking so much about social media. This isn't the hot take section anymore, but
give it to me.
Hot take. I actually think Pinterest is the most underrated social media platform.
I second that. I've been so into it the last 6 months. There's also this Gen Z trend of like that safe space social scrolling where you pick something that's like your little garden that's almost for you, like a dopamine scroll or something. But using that for your music too, and just like relaxing into what you want your visuals to be almost subconsciously.
Definitely.
It's kind of fun.
Definitely. It gives me a little bit of a Tumblr vibe. Not so much. Tumblr, R.I.P. I miss you so much.
R.I.P. But like it's back, but also R.I.P.
But it's back.
The Tumblr we knew, R.I.P.
I know.
Maybe there's a whole new round of it.
I know. But Pinterest, it was so helpful when envisioning all the mood boards for each song in the EP, because there were a lot of times where I had an idea of what I wanted, but I needed just like a little bit help getting to the specific detail or idea. And I'd go on Pinterest and I would look up, whatever keywords, and that would help really. Even if I saw something that wasn't exactly what I wanted, I would see that, and then that would help get my wheels turning in a different way and help me think of ideas. Actually, my single artwork for the lead single off the EP, it's called You. It's a photo of what you assume is me stalking a strange man at a cafe through the lens of binoculars. Ooh. That was partly thanks to Pinterest. I came across this really creepy photo actually of like a deer running in a forest, and like it was like a flashlight kind of vibe, like, and it was kind of like a Blair Witch Project vibe. Really creepy. But I got the binocular lens idea from Pinterest.
That's so cool. Yeah, I think Pinterest is super underrated. And also mood boards don't have to be too extensive. It's just you have anything at all that's training your brain of how you want to visualize this music. And I wanted to ask you about deciding to release an EP versus an album. Was there a reason behind choosing just a small collection of songs for now?
Yeah. So I actually was making an album, and I had the whole concept, and I was super excited about it. And the people around me kept like hinting that maybe I should start with an EP or something. And I'm just super stubborn. When I get a creative vision or idea, I need to do it. So we started doing it. And then a whole year went by and there was still so much to do. And I was like, oh yeah, this is a lot of work and time because you're going around other people's schedules and whatnot. And then also money because you're paying for each song. So that was really creeping up on me. So, and then also the moment where I really decided to make it into an EP to start was there was a Friday where like 3 of my favorite artists all dropped full-length albums. And I didn't even feel like listening to all of them, and they were my favorite artists. But it was just because like it was like overwhelming and too much, or I was busy and I had other things going on also. And I was like, okay, if these are my favorite artists ever, and they can't even get me to listen to the whole album today, what makes me think that someone who's just kind of starting out in some ways, will be able to make people listen to me? Like it's just different nowadays. People have shorter attention spans, and so that's when I texted Amanda being like, actually, I think we should start with an EP. And I'm really glad that we ended up doing that because yeah, I still think this is a great project, and I think it's the perfect amount to kind of start with. Yeah.
This must mean you have ambitions to expand on your artist career. What do you think is in the works next?
Definitely. I always joke that my debut full-length album will come out in like 2028, just seeing how long everything takes. I'm so shocked at how long everything takes. I hope that's not true, but it might be. I might do a sophomore EP, or who knows?
Oh, okay. Secret. Well, I love it. I think that's super exciting. And again, I got to hear this EP. I think it's fantastic and feels like a refreshing, almost like debut a little bit of just like stepping into this project. And I'm excited to hear what's coming next.
Thank you.
Very, very excited. We're going to play a little game called Where'd You Find That? I went on a gigantic deep dive of your digital footprint online from every year that you've ever posted anything to do with music or otherwise. And I've pulled I have 2 photos and a quote. And I'm going to read the quote to you and show you the photos. And you're going to tell me something about, again, either the quote or the photos in real time. Are you ready to react?
I feel like I'm on a talk show right now.
You have not seen any of these, by the way. This is a complete surprise. Okay.
This is a complete
surprise. Let's start with a photo. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Here's number 1.
Oh my God. I'm so proud of this. I think this is my peak moment.
Tell me when and what this was.
That was Halloween, October 2024. I was the Goblin King, played by David Bowie in the 80s film The Labyrinth. Actually, just Labyrinth. There's
Great movie.
Fantastic movie.
You remind me of The Babe.
You remind me of The Babe. The Babe with the power.
I chose this one actually. It's kind of falling off the hinges here, but this is such a fantastic cosplay costume. I remember when I saw this, I was like, that's with the baby in the hand. I was like, you ate that.
I struggled with that baby too. I had to go through a couple of babies to get to that one. And that was, I got to a point where I was like, I need to throw in the towel because I needed I got the red and white striped clothes separately from the doll because that's hard to find. And the clothes were too big for all the babies that I was getting. And so I just ended up like wrapping it and like making it tighter with a ponytail.
You remind me of The Babe. All night people were like, oh my God, the song.
So actually I thought it was going to be too obscure and I didn't think anyone was going to get what I was, and I was fine with it. This was purely a costume for myself. I was so shocked to find that like that was such a popular costume. So many people loved it and knew who I was. So I was very happy. I've never felt more like myself. I even like put this is inappropriate. I put like a sock in my pants because I feel like Bowie in that movie, those were tight leggings that he was wearing, and I wanted
it's just
the whole vibe.
It's a fantastic cosplay. 10 out of 10, and I had to bring it up and hear some stories about it.
Thank you for doing that.
This next one's a quote. So what I want to do for this one is read you the quote, which is a wonderful quote. And you're going to tell me where you think this is from, or who said this. Kirsten has a beautiful, ethereal voice and a distinct, simple sound, gently strumming a guitar. To my long-seasoned ears, I hear an echo of the Cocteau Twins.
Mm-hmm.
Cocteau Twins. But even as true as that might be, it's an unnecessary comparison. Who said that?
No. That was recent. That was
such kind words too.
Such kind. I remember reading it. Was it for I Want It All? The song I Want It All?
I don't have the song, but I do have the publication and the year.
It was from last year, right? No. Was it from 2023?
Yes.
For No One's Invited. Or no, actually Nothing. For the song Nothing. I know you don't have that, but yeah, that's
It's
what
from
it is.
Spin Magazine.
Spin Magazine.
And it was just
no,
so,
that makes me look bad. No. Well, I just get so much press.
We love you, Spin Magazine. No, I thought it was so well written. I was like, I have to read this back to her.
Yes. No, we love Spin Magazine. We love Bob from Spin Magazine. That's the person that we worked with for that. And he gave me a chance when no one else was, and is just, I love him so much. Thank you, Bob. I know who you are, and that was the peak of my career.
I thought it was a very nice quote.
Amanda's
this
losing
last
her
one's
mind.
a pretty big finale. Are you ready for this?
I feel like the Goblin King was kind of finale vibes.
Oh, that was just the
let's
start.
go.
Okay. And again, you're going to tell me when this was and anything else you can tell me about it. Everyone ready?
Oh, no. Yes.
This is epic, and this has a video, and yes, I watched the video.
Oh,
that's
no.
the clue I'll give you.
It's from my YouTube channel. There's a couple different songs I played. So I'm busking on the boardwalk at a New Jersey beach.
I was gonna ask, was this on the East or West Coast?
East Coast. This was in New Jersey. I'm wearing a Batman t-shirt.
You were crushing it in this
was,
video.
I was doing like was it an Amy Winehouse
You
cover?
got it.
Yeah.
You got it. I listened to it. It was great.
Really?
You were just like, at one point you like moved around to adjust the sound, and I was like, what does she now? Were you busking regularly?
Yes, I did that regularly.
Were you getting cash tips?
I was getting some money, not a lot. It wasn't enough, but like my mom came and watched me busk the whole time, and so we would take that money and like go get dinner afterwards. That's pretty much what we did, because we just enjoyed it. It was fun.
We got to get you down to the Santa Monica Pier for like a fun like reunion of this moment.
I would love to.
And the Batman shirt. I mean, it was so much fun doing a deep dive. I found all kinds of fun stuff. Sadly, I only had time to pull a few, but
that's a great finale.
Oh,
wow.
Well, everyone go. I'll have to link that video because it's just so adorably fantastic.
You have to go deep for that. So respect on the research front. You
Kirsten,
researched.
Kirsten, this was way too much fun. I just want to say thank you so much for being on the Buy My Merch podcast. Show the mug. Let's see the mug. Kirsten has some fantastic new music out. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me on all the platforms. My handle is the Kirsten Izer. YouTube, Instagram, whatever, TikTok.
We had so much fun. Thank you so much for being on the Buy My Merch podcast.
Thank you.